husband's shocking betrayal of his pregnant wife, but her epic revenge will haunt him forever. In the dim light of a small-town diner, Anna sat cradling her belly, the glow of motherhood shimmering around her like a golden ring. The world outside felt distant, a mere echo of life's bustle. But inside, shadows began to creep in. Just days away from welcoming their first child, Anna found herself spiraling into a nightmarish reality. The air was thick with grease and despair as she absent-mindedly traced the tiny kicks coming from within her. And then, a text arrived cold, sharp, shattering. It wasn't just any text. It was a message that uprooted her entire life. "I can't do this anymore," it read. Her breath hitched. No, not now. Not with a baby waiting to greet the world. A sharp pang shot through her heart. This was the man who promised to love and cherish her through thick and thin. The man who vowed to be there at every twist and turn. Anguish clawed at her chest as the reality wrapped around her like a heavy shroud. Voices murmured around her, oblivious to the storm brewing within. A woman in a red dress and a laughing couple by the window. All felt like a world away, like characters in a sitcom she didn't want to watch anymore. But there was more, much more. As she read and reread those words, the ice-cold realization struck her like a slap in the face. There was someone else. Images of a smiling woman flooded her mind, followed by a deafening silence, cutting through the laughter around her. Was she being replaced? The very thought twisted like a knife. Fear bubbled up, but what truly gnawed on her insides was a darker feeling: anger. It roared to life, igniting a flicker of rebellion. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. With her heart racing, Anna felt a tide of determination wash over her. She wasn't just going to sit back. She would make him regret this betrayal. As she stood up, determination radiated from her, drowning out the hurt. She could taste that sweet pang of revenge brewing, and it tasted like power. Little did she know, plans were beginning to unfold, and her husband's world would soon unravel before his very eyes. But how far would she go? The whispers of fate hung in the air, waiting for that pivotal moment to strike. The sun slipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that danced across Anna's face as she stepped out of the diner. The cool evening air filled her lungs, sharp and invigorating. Each breath spurred on her resolve. She wasn't simply going to confront her husband. She was going to dismantle his entire world. The thrill of revenge coursed through her veins like electricity, igniting a fire she never knew she had. Anna's phone buzzed again, startling her. The insistent vibration felt like a warning. She hesitated, her heart racing with a mix of dread and anticipation. It was him, James. His name lit up the screen with a message that could unravel her plans in an instant. "Can we talk?" it read. The audacity. How dare he think everything could just be smoothed over with a conversation? No way, she whispered defiantly to herself, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Instead of engaging, she felt a sudden surge of clarity. Instead of answering, she began to craft a different message, a plan. The thought of how to make him pay for his betrayal sharpened with each tap on the screen. Her mind exploded with possibilities. Perhaps a public showdown, or maybe something more subtle like sowing doubt into the heart of his online life. He was the most active on social media, always flaunting their perfect family life. How delicious it would be to twist that narrative, to expose him for the fraud he truly was. She pulled her jacket tighter against the chill as she wandered to her car, the engine grumbling to life beneath her fingertips. Anna's gaze sliced through the dimly lit streets, determination etched on her face. The first stop was a place he frequented, his favorite bar where he often boasted about their happiness, oblivious to the cracks forming underneath. When she arrived, the neon lights flickered like a heartbeat he wouldn't soon forget. Moments later, she stepped inside, the sound of laughter and clinking glasses washing over her. Scanning the room, her eyes locked on him. There he was, seated at the bar, an arm around a woman with bright red lips and laughter that was too loud. The sight twisted her stomach, but anger quickly turned it into steely resolve. The woman leaned closer as James whispered something that made them both laugh. Something inside Anna broke, a small piece of her heart shattering to dust. But she swallowed that pain. This is not the end, she thought fiercely as she approached. Her heart thundered in her chest. Would he recognize her fury? Would he see the determined woman she had grown into? James, she called, her voice of venomous silk that dripped with intent. Heads turned, surprise and confusion erupting in the space between them. It was as if time froze for a moment, and every eye was on her, waiting for the explosion. James twisted around, eyes wide, filling with a mix of shock and disbelief at the sight of her, standing tall, a force to be reckoned with. The laughter faded, leaving only the sound of her pounding heart. What are you doing here? He stammered, color draining from his face. Just wanted you to see the real show, Anna replied, a wicked smile unfurling on her lips. She could practically taste the triumph already. But just then, the woman beside him stood, turned, and faced Anna with a smirk that sent a chill down her spine. Oh honey, you have no idea what's really going on. The realization hit Anna hard. It was one thing to plot revenge, but how much did she really know? Could this get even messy, eh? What was lying beneath the surface waiting to erupt? And as the truth hung thick in the air, Anna knew she had to expose it. And whatever lay ahead would change everything. Anna's heart raced, panic clawing at her throat as she faced the woman beside James. Something about that smirk, the confident stance, this was no ordinary mistress. Doubt seeped into her carefully crafted plan, warping it into an uncertain haze. What do you mean? Anna shot back, her voice steadier than she felt. The woman leaned closer, her smile widening. Let's just say, James and I have a lot more than mutual friends. And you, poor thing, are the one left in the dark. The words hung like a noose, tightening around Anna's thoughts. She could feel the eyes of the bar's patrons boring into her, their muted whispers swirling amidst the laughter that had subsided. She clenched her fists, grappling with the rising tide of betrayal's sickening swell. How could you do this? She snapped at James, desperation coating her words. After everything we built? James's expression transformed from shock to guilt before flickering into something colder, almost resentful. You don't understand, Anna. I never loved you like you thought I did. Not really. The room fell silent. The echo of his confession was a slick blade plunging into her heart. You were just convenient, he continued, shrugging off her pain as easily as he would a cocktail napkin. This, whatever this is with her, he gestured dismissively toward the woman, is real. She's a breath of fresh air. The woman nodded, her eyes shimmering with malicious delight. Such a pity you had to find out this way, she said sweetly. Anna's world tilted dangerously. She stood frozen, waves of anger and despair crashing over her. What had she done all these years? The picture-perfect life. The dinners. The family vacations. All illusions, a carefully curated charade now crumbling around her. Take your time, sweetheart. Process it all, the woman taunted, her red lips curving into a mocking smile. But if you're here for a fight, you might get burned. Anna felt the rage surge within her, ready to set the world alight. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. She had envisioned this moment as a triumphant unveiling of truth, but that truth was shattered now, strewn across the bar's floor like broken glass. With a sudden burst of energy, she stepped closer, locking eyes with James. You think you can just walk away from what we had? James sneered. It was a brief flicker, but Anna caught it, fear mingling with his bravado. It ignited something in her, a determination igniting a force she hadn't expected. I'm not finished with you, she declared. Her voice, once shaky, now dripped with venom. If you're looking for fresh air, then Anna, just leave, James interjected, but she cut him off, the weight of her next words filled with promise. No, I'm going to make sure both of you regret this. A mixed bag of shock and excitement rippled through the bystanders. Anna turned on her heel, her mind racing through plans of chaos that would claw back the upper hand. As she burst through the bar's exit, the cool night air enveloped her like an electric blanket. She didn't look back. Promise and revenge intertwined in her mind. But there was one crucial detail she was missing. As she reached her car, she felt her phone buzz once more. Her heart sank at the thought of James reaching out again. Hesitating, she finally glanced at the screen, but it wasn't his name lighting up this time. A different message appeared, one that made her blood run cold. "I know what you did, Anna. You better be careful." The words felt like a warning shot, and as realization settled in, Anna understood it wasn't just James she had to be wary of. Secrets often come with heavy consequences, and hers might just be far darker than she had anticipated. And as dread twisted in her gut, she knew she was diving into a far deeper game than she could have ever imagined. The streets were alive with noise, yet Anna felt the world around her blur into silence. Her heart hammered in her chest as she leaned against her car, her mind racing. Who had sent her that chilling message? It felt as if the universe had collapsed in on itself, leaving her teetering on the edge of despair and anger. She inhaled sharply, the cool air biting at her lungs. She couldn't afford to lose control, not now. Instead, she needed a plan, one that would send shockwaves through James and his new plaything. The laughter she had heard from the bar resounded in her ears, a cruel reminder of her shattered reality. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again. This time, the screen lit up with a name that made her breath hitch. Her heart raced faster. Sarah, her best friend and confidant. Anna answered, forcing her voice to remain steady. "Hey, what's up? Hey, where are you? I saw you walk out of there like someone threw a bomb in. You okay?" Sarah's concern wrapped around her like a warm embrace, but it only heightened Anna's anxiety. Not okay," Anna admitted, glancing around as if the shadows themselves could hear her pain. I need to get back at James and that woman." "Wait, what did they do?" Sarah's voice shifted, interest mingling with caution. "It's complicated, but James, he's been lying. And he's with her now." Anna's voice dripped with contempt at the thought of the woman, that alpha confidence she carried as if she owned James. "I'll be right there," Sarah declared, determination crackling through the line. "You aren't doing this alone." Anna felt a flicker of gratitude, but inside her, darkness twisted like a hungry snake. She hated feeling weak, hated how easily things had unraveled. "I need to talk to you in person. There's more." The call ended, and she leaned back against her car, staring blankly at the pavement. Her fingers drummed against the hood in a rhythmic pattern, thoughts spiraling into an uncontainable frenzy. What if there was a way to expose James, to make him publicly regret everything? The idea ignited a spark. But she needed more than just vengeance. She required leverage. There were details about their life and James's secretive behavior she had overlooked. She suddenly recalled random text messages he had received late at night, the ones she had brushed off as work. Could they be tied to his infidelity? With newfound clarity, she decided to scour James's phone. It would be risky, but Anna could tap into his secrets and turn them into her weapons. She felt an exhilaration that felt foreign amid the despair, a sharp realization that power was not out of reach. As she waited for Sarah, Anna's mind conjured images of James wincing as she revealed his sordid affairs in front of family, friends, every person who had once looked up to him. She imagined the looks of disbelief, the whispered conversations ignited by her revelations. The headlights of Sarah's car sliced through the darkness, pulling Anna from her thoughts. As her friend stepped out, the look on Sarah's face was a mix of concern and fierce loyalty. "You ready to take this back? Let us go?" Anna nodded, feeling the fire inside her blaze brighter. They would dig deep, uncover every secret as if they were gleefully searching for hidden treasure, each buried truth, another shovelful of dirt atop James's charade. But as they climbed into Sarah's car, that message echoed ominously in the back of Anna's mind. "I know what you did." It lurked like a shadow, whispering warnings that the path she was about to tread could unravel far more than she anticipated. What secrets were waiting to be discovered? And what unforeseen battles might they awaken? Anna had awoken a slumbering beast, and she feared the cost of her vengeance might exceed anything she had bargained for. The wheels crunched against the gravel as they drove off, determination in the air and a chilling sense of inevitability still hidden in the shadows. Anna's heart raced as Sarah pulled out of the parking lot, the city lights flashing past like a series of taunting reminders of her broken relationship. As they drove, her mind whirled with dark thoughts. Each twist of the road seemed to mirror her spiraling emotions. "He is going to regret this. I can't let him get away without paying," Anna muttered, a slight tremor in her voice. Sarah shot her a look, a mixture of concern and fierce agreement. "We'll figure this out together," Sarah reassured her, gripping the wheel tightly, as if trying to steady both their nerves. "First things first, we need to get into James's phone. What do you know about the passwords?" Anna hesitated, the gravity of the situation sinking in. She knew she was crossing into dangerous territory, but desperation fueled her. "He usually just uses password 123 or something equally stupid." "I can try that." They arrived at Sarah S.'s apartment, the familiar comfort of the cozy space contrasting sharply with Anna S.'s stormy thoughts. With an urgency that was almost palpable, they set about gathering tools: the spare laptop, an old Wi-Fi dongle. They needed to be careful. There was no room for mistakes. As Anna plugged the laptop in, her hands shook. The reality sank in. She was about to invade the privacy of the man she thought she knew. But the betrayal twisted her gut. "If I can't find anything, then I'll just have to think of something else. Something bigger," she whispered, more to herself than to Sarah. They fired up the laptop, and as the screen illuminated, a small chill skittered down Anna's spine. This was it. She needed to put James's secrets into the light. Frustration fizzed just beneath her skin as she typed in his password. The screen blinked. "Access granted." "Whoa, you did it!" Sarah exclaimed, leaning in closer. The sleek interface displayed a list of messages and apps. Anna's heart pounded loudly now, each beat echoing the weight of her next decision. "Let us start with the texts." She clicked on the messaging app and scrolled nervously. Messages from numbers she didn't recognize filled the screen, and the hairs on her arms stood on end. Anna read with urgency, her heart plummeting as one message stood out among the others. "Can't wait to see you tonight. You know the drill, right?" James is none the wiser. The words felt like a fist to her gut. It wasn't a random affair. They were meeting regularly. Anna felt a surge of anger that was almost paralyzing. "Who asked this?" Sarah asked, craning her neck. "Do you recognize the number?" "No, it's not familiar." But Anna's finger hovered over the screen. "This could be the evidence I need." Yet just as she was about to respond to the text from the unknown number, a sudden thought struck her. What if someone else had seen the messages too? "Wait," she breathed, swallowing hard. "What if whoever this is knows I'm looking?" The knot in her stomach tightened as the walls closed in around them. "Anna, are you overthinking this?" Sarah's brows knitted together in concern. "Sarah, this isn't just about us anymore." A new realization flashed in Anna's mind like a warning sign. "If I expose him, this woman might go after me. We need a plan to protect ourselves." Before they could discuss further, the screen beeped, a notification pinging loudly a new message. Fear coursed through Anna as she glanced at the sender's name. It was a number she recognized from earlier. "I know you're looking at my messages," it read. "Stop now or face the consequences." A chill settled deep in her bones. Her fingers froze above the keyboard. She was being watched. "Sarah, we need to get out of here," Anna said, urgency flooding her voice. Now, as they scrambled to shut everything down, the weight of the hunt for revenge shifted. Instead of feeling empowered, Anna's chest felt tight with fear. The shadows had just become far more menacing, and she understood playing a dangerous game came with terrifying stakes. What would happen if she pressed on, now that she knew someone was waiting? Would revenge cost her everything? As they rushed out, the night thick with impending danger, the reality sank deeper. In her quest to reclaim her power, Anna might have just unleashed something far darker. The cold night air whipped around them as Anna and Sarah rushed down the narrow staircase from the apartment. Every creak of the old wooden steps echoed like a warning bell, heightening Anna's sense of dread. Adrenaline coursed through her veins, each heartbeat loud in her ears. Who was watching them? The question spiraled relentlessly in her mind, twisting her thoughts into a chaotic frenzy. "Do you think they can trace us?" Sarah's voice trembled, her eyes darting about, as if expecting shadows to reach out and grab them. "I don't know, but we can't take any chances." Anna's own voice was barely a whisper, choked with fear. They dashed through the parking lot, breathless and frantic under the flickering streetlights. The glow felt more threatening than comforting, shadows lurking in every corner, like the ghouls of Anna's latest fears. Once inside the car, Sarah fumbled with the keys, panic making her hands unsteady. "What do we do now? Where do we go?" Anna took a deep breath, forcing clarity into the chaos. We need a plan. We have to lay low until we know what we're dealing with. I need to think. Think. About what? About him? About her? Sarah snapped, her back against the seat as she gripped the wheel like a lifeline. Anna couldn't answer. James had shattered her trust, and this woman, whoever she was, had twisted the knife deeper. Thank God for Sarah. Without her, Anna would have felt entirely alone in this nightmare. Let us head to my sister's cabin. It's remote. No one will find us there, Anna suggested, her voice steadying. The weight of the laptop was still in her mind, evidence of a betrayal that was now a noose around her neck. All right, but first, before Sarah could finish her thought, her phone buzzed insistently in her lap. Both women froze, dread pooling in their stomachs. Glancing at the screen, Sarah's expression shifted from confusion to sheer terror. It's that number, she said, eyes wide. What do I do? Don't answer it, Anna urged. They know we're looking. We need to stay hidden. But the toll of the night was visible in Sarah's face, the shadows under her eyes betraying her fear. What if we get caught? What if, listen, we can't let fear control us. Not now. The anger in Anna's voice surprised even her. It cut through the panic rolling in her thoughts. I want to let them intimidate me. I want to know who this is, and I want to confront them. Just as Sarah went to set the phone down, it buzzed again. Another notification, fingers trembling. She read the chilling text. You're playing a dangerous game, Anna. But I have the advantage. The words struck hard, and Anna gasped, her heart racing again. They know my name. We need to go now, Sarah shouted, panic igniting once more. Wait. Anna's voice was firm. If this is a game, I can't cut and run. There's too much at stake. What are you saying? The quiver in Sarah's voice danced with desperation. I'm saying I need to turn this around. I need to find out who this woman is. Determination sharpened Anna's focus, and it felt like a stinging defiance rising in her chest. She was done being a victim. Back onto the hunter's path, as tension thickened between them. Anna saw the light in Sarah's eyes flicker. What if it's too late for that? What if they know everything? I have to take that risk, Anna said, steeling herself. I want to let James think he can just walk away unscathed. Not either of them. With a sense of purpose igniting inside her, Anna navigated through the dark thoughts, forging a plan more daring than she ever imagined. A torrent of hidden emotions churned within her: fear, anger, and a fierce determination to reclaim what was lost. Let us head to the cabin, Anna said, her voice regaining its strength as her mind shifted into gear. We'll gather what we need, and I'll expose them both. Sarah nodded slowly, understanding flickering behind her wide-eyed fear. As the car roared to life, the hum of the engine felt like the heartbeat of a monster awakening, all-consuming and waiting that as they drove into the abyss of the approaching night. A single notion gripped Anna: this was no longer just about revenge. It was about survival. What other dark secrets lay waiting in the shadows? And who else would be drawn into this web of darkness? Anna felt a chill, not just from the night air, but from the tangled fates she was about to untangle. The road twisted and turned, the headlights slicing through the dark like a knife through flesh. Trees loomed beside them, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Anna gripped the armrest, her knuckles white. The cabin felt like a mirage, its safety lingering just out of reach. In that moment, fear joined her like a specter, refusing to back down. Did you ever think it would come to this? Sarah's voice was small, almost lost in the car's throaty growl. Just you and me against whatever this is. Anna shook her head, trying to silence the haunting memories of laughter and love, now warped by betrayal. I never wanted it to. The weight of her words hung heavy in the air, each syllable a declaration of her shattered past. The phone buzzed again, and they both jumped. The harsh sound shattered the tense silence, swelling with menace. Forget it. Anna spat, her heart thumping erratically. We can't be distracted. But Sarah hesitated, glancing at the screen. What if it's important? What if it's important? If it was important, they wouldn't be playing games. Anna felt the anger swell, an emotional burst that poured out like a storm. That's what this is. A game to them. The silence that followed was thick, filled with Sarah's uncertainty. Anna's heart ached for her friend. They were in this together, but the shadows loomed heavily, threatening to tear them apart. They arrived at the cabin, its rustic charm stark against the gloom of the forest. It stood almost defiantly against the darkness, a sanctuary that felt more like a trap. Anna stepped out, breath misting before her, the cold biting at her skin. Once inside, they both breathed a sigh of relief. Yet that breath felt laced with fragility. The cabin was dimly lit, the soft glow of a flickering fireplace casting wavering shadows on the walls. Anna rummaged through drawers as Sarah leaned against the counter, anxiety etched on her face. "Let's check the laptop. We need to see what's on it," Sarah suggested, her voice low. Anna nodded but felt a gnawing unease deep in her gut. The laptop represented everything she wanted to uncover and everything she feared. Without another word, she pulled the device from the backpack and plugged it into the creaky old wooden table. As the screen lit up, Sarah's hands trembled beside her. "What if it's bad? What if it's worse than we imagined?" "Then we prepare for it," Anna replied, her tone fierce, masking the uncertainty that threatened to unravel her resolve. She clicked through files, heart racing with each folder she opened. "Where do we even start?" Sarah's voice whispered, a cautious dread creeping back into her words. "Right here," Anna said, opening a chat log. The screen unveiled a chilling dialogue, one that felt too familiar. Names blurred, but the words invisible clawed at her consciousness. Betrayal dripped from every line. Suddenly, her fingers stilled. A message made her breath catch. "You can't trust Anna. She'd ruin everything if she found out." The walls felt like they were closing in on her. It's about me," she stated, panic washing over her. "They're talking about a plan against me." Sarah leaned closer, fear painted across her features, confusion and concern mixing in her wide eyes. "Anna, we need to get out of here. I don't like this." The room seemed to shrink further as Anna's mind whirled. Too many revelations pulsated through her veins, but one thought eclipsed all others. She was not just a pawn in their game, she was the queen, and it was time to take her sacrificial stance. Sparks of hope flickered through her, igniting a fire she thought was extinguished. "Not yet. I need to dig deeper," she breathed, adrenaline surging anew. What she had uncovered was only the beginning. But outside, a faint noise, a crack of a branch followed by a quiet rustle, made her freeze. "Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered, paling even further. Before Anna could respond, the front door creaked slowly open, a chilling wind sweeping in like an unwelcome guest. It was time to face whatever waited on the other side of that door. But who or what was coming? For them now? The door swung open, casting a sliver of moonlight into the dim cabin. It illuminated the edges of a shadow, a figure lurking just outside. Heart racing, Anna's breath hitched in her throat. "Who's there?" she called out, forcing authority into her voice despite the tremor threatening to escape. The wind howled in response, carrying with it a sense of dread. A figure stepped into view, tall, draped in dark clothing, features obscured by the night. Sarah pressed against Anna, her fear radiating off her like heat from a flame. "Do you know them?" she whispered, barely audible. "No," Anna replied, her voice steady, but a million questions swirled in her mind. Was this someone from her past? Someone sent by the very people betraying her? "Anna." Sarah's voice trembled. "We really should go now." "Wait," Anna said, grounding herself. "Let us see what they want." The figure took a step closer, and Anna could finally make out a familiar face, once warm and inviting. It was Mark, the friend she had once trusted. Anguish washed over her, quickly overshadowed by anger. "What do you want?" she demanded, stepping forward, muscles taut with caution. She had thought Mark was dead, a lost ally in this twisted game. But here he stood, the phantom of her past returning. "Anna, I can explain," he said, his voice low, urgency dripping from every syllable. "Explain?" she scoffed, the word dripping with venom. "You think you can just waltz in here after everything?" Anna's mind raced, flashing back to the betrayal. Mark had once been her confidant, sharing secrets and laughter when the world felt heavy. But from the moment she discovered his treachery, it was as if the ground had shifted beneath her feet. "I had no choice," he shouted, stepping into the cabin fully, his eyes wild. "They have your back, Anna. They will come for you." "Who?" Sarah was still by Anna's side, her voice rising in panic. "The ones you trust." Mark's voice was a frantic whisper now. "There's more to this than you know. They're watching, and you're in danger." Anna's stomach twisted. "You're lying. You're here to protect them. Tell me the truth, Mark. Why should I believe you?" "I was sent to warn you." The tension in the room was suffocating. Shadows danced around them, breathing life into the horrors lurking outside. Anna wanted to believe him, but doubt shrouded her heart like a thick fog. "Why were you gone?" she challenged, arms crossed, her heart a battlefield of emotions. "I was trying to work from the inside," Mark confessed, vulnerability breaking through his heated proclamations. "I thought I could find a way to save you from this nightmare. But you didn't, did you?" Anna said, pushing him back mentally. "You chose to disappear instead." The air crackled, heavy with accusations and unspoken pain. Mark rubbed a hand through his hair, visibly distressed. "I never meant to hurt you. I wanted to keep you safe." Anna felt a tight knot in her chest. "Safe from what? What do you know?" "They're playing a game, Anna. They manipulated your trust. I was supposed to be your eyes and ears. But they threatened my family. I couldn't just let them." The door creaked loudly, snapping them back to reality. A sudden movement outside the window made Anna's heart race. The whispers of shadows hovered about her, as if the forest itself had ears. They were not alone. "Mark, we need to go now," Sarah urged, eyes darting around. But before anyone could move, something crashed against the cabin's side, a deafening sound that made the walls shudder. "Stay back," Anna shouted, pushing Sarah behind her. Mark's voice cut through the chaos. "They're here." Panic engulfed them, hearts pounding in sync with the relentless knocks outside. Shadows loomed larger, and Anna felt the darkness inching closer, as if it knew it was inevitable. "Anna, trust me." Mark grabbed her arm, desperation etched in his eyes. "We have to fight this together." "Fight what?" She felt the words leave her mouth like ice. "How can I trust you?" Another crash interrupted them. The door rattled on its hinges. It was no longer a question of trust. It was a reckoning. Caught between the familiar and the unknown, Anna had to choose: would she trust the man who once betrayed her, or would she confront whatever stalked the woods, knowing the consequences could shatter them all? A figure burst through the door, silhouetted against the moonlight, bringing with it an air of inevitability that sent shivers down her spine. "Get ready," Mark yelled as the truth descended upon them with chilling clarity. Anna knew in that moment everything was about to change forever. But what awaited them on the other side of that door? The figure stepped into the cabin, and the wind howled louder, as if warning them of the terror about to unfold. It was a man, hulking and menacing, his features lost in shadow, but the glint of something sharp peeked from his side. Anna's breath caught in her throat, every instinct screaming for them to flee. "Mark, who is that?" Sarah's voice quaked, her body trembling against Anna's. "Run," Mark shouted. But before they could move, the man lunged forward, a powerful force crashing into them. Anna stumbled back as the stranger slammed into the cabin, wooden beams creaking beneath the pressure. "You shouldn't have come here," he growled, eyes blazing with malice. Anna's heart raced like a wild drumbeat. This was no ordinary intruder. This was a predator. "Stay away from us," she yelled, adrenaline surging through her veins. Mark grabbed the nearest object, a fallen branch from the floor, and swung it at the intruder, but the man dodged easily, closing the distance between them. "Fool!" The man spat as he tackled Mark to the ground. Anna felt a surge of anger, fighting against the fear wrapping around her like a vice. This was her chance. She rushed forward, grabbing a heavy iron skillet from the counter. With a fierce yell, she swung it at the man, connecting with a sickening thud. He stumbled back, surprised, but swiftly regained his stance. "Get away from him," Anna shouted, her voice firm. Mark scrambled to his feet, eyes wide with surprise and admiration. "Anna, now is not the time," she snapped, heart racing as the man advanced again, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead. In his eyes, Anna saw a flicker of rage, but more so it was a cold calculation. He wasn't just here to scare them. He was on a mission. "Closer than you realize," he hissed, his voice laced with malice. "You think you were ever really safe? They know everything." "Who do you work for?" Mark bellowed, rage mixing with confusion. "Someone who knows your every secret. Someone who will end this game," the man replied, a sinister smile creeping across his face. "Enough of your riddles," Anna yelled, readying herself for another blow. But suddenly, he lunged again, faster this time, catching Anna off guard. He knocked the skillet from her hands, sending it clattering to the floor. She gasped, feeling exposed, vulnerable. Mark interjected, jumping back to protect Anna. But the man shoved him aside with such force that he crashed against the wall. The impact shook the cabin. "Mark!" Anna cried, rushing to him, but instinct told her to stay ready. But the intruder was already turning his attention back to her. "You should have stayed out of this, Anna," he taunted, a chilling satisfaction evident in his tone. The fear that had gripped her turned into a burning resolve. "You don't know me," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. He sneered, stepping closer, and suddenly she could see the madness in his eyes, the reckless abandon. "What do you want?" she demanded, holding her ground. "You'll find out soon enough." And with that, he lunged once more, catching Mark off guard and shoving him directly into Anna, sending them both crashing to the floor. As they lay dazed, chaos surged around them. The intruder was now focused, like a wolf spotting easy prey. "Your past is catching up to you, Anna. They'll come for you, one way or another." In the back of her mind, every warning, every piece Mark had shared began to align, but she couldn't process it. A frantic rush of thoughts surged as she struggled to push herself up. Then, out of nowhere, the cabin was filled with a brilliant light. The shadows dissipated and the intruder froze, looking confused, as if caught between realms. "Light?" he murmured, as if it was the last thing he expected. "Now's our chance," Mark shouted, grabbing Anna's arm to pull her up. But before they could escape the suffocating grip of fear and uncertainty, the man's eyes locked onto Anna. "You can't hide, Anna. They will find you. And when they do, your betrayal will be your end." With one last chest-rumbling crash, he vanished into the night, leaving only darkness and the echo of his chilling words behind. Breathless and confused, Anna turned to Mark, their eyes meeting, filled with both fear and determination. "What the hell just happened?" Mark shook his head, voice quaking. "I don't know, but we need answers, and we need them fast. We're running out of time." The tension appeared as thick as fog around them, leaving Anna with a dread like she had never felt before. The shadows outside whispered promises of danger, and as the silence settled, she couldn't shake the feeling that the real fight was just beginning. What waited for them in the night? The sun rose slowly over the horizon, painting the world in hues of orange and pink. But in Anna's heart, darkness lingered. She sat at the old-fashioned kitchen table, her hands trembling as they wrapped around a steaming mug of coffee. The cabin, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison, a space where secrets and threats swirled like storm clouds, brewing chaos instead of comfort. "Listen, Anna," Mark said, pacing back and forth in front of her. "We need to take immediate action. They won't stop until they finish what they started." His eyes, wide and frantic, darted toward the windows as if the shadows themselves were listening. "Who exactly are we dealing with?" Anna fired back, frustration slicing through her morning haze. "You come barging in here with warnings, but you've been missing in action. How can I trust you?" "Because I know what is happening beneath the surface," Mark pleaded. "I've seen how they operate. They aren't just playing games, they're building a network to put you down." "Then tell me what I need to do," Anna said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Determination surged through her veins, igniting a fire she thought she had lost. Mark paused, collecting his thoughts. "First, we have to go on the offensive. We've got to expose them before they get to you. You have friends, people who love you. Use them. We need to bring them in for backup." Anna's stomach twisted at the thought of dragging her loved ones into this mess, but she understood the reality of her situation. "What about Sarah?" she asked, glancing toward her friend, who had fallen asleep on the couch, exhausted from the night's chaos. "Definitely, she's loyal. But we need someone on the outside too, someone inside the network." "We need leverage," Mark stated, a spark igniting in his eyes. As if summoned by the conversation, Sarah stirred and blinked awake, confusion washing over her face. "Did I miss something important?" she asked, stretching her arms. "Maybe," Anna replied, her mind racing. "We need to plan a path to take these people down. And I think I need to confront James. To make a clear statement." A shadow crossed Sarah's face. "Are you sure? What if he has changed his story? What if—" "No," Anna interrupted, the fire inside her igniting once more. "He won't change. He is too cowardly for that. I'll turn the tables on this situation. I will not be a victim." Mark nodded, seeming reassured by Anna's unwavering strength. "Then let us move." We need evidence of what they're planning so we can rally support. If he thinks he can walk away from this. As they gathered their things, Anna's heart thudded with anticipation. What had once felt like a plan of revenge now evolved into a strategy for survival. She was reclaiming her narrative. This was no longer just about exposing James. It was about dismantling a web of deceit. They drove back to town, the morning sun casting long shadows behind them. With each mile, Anna's resolve solidified. This was her final act, not just for herself, but for the future she wanted to build. That as they pulled up to James's home, Anna exchanged silent glances with Sarah and Mark. It's showtime, she breathed. Just remember, no matter what he says, keep your focus, Mark cautioned, his eyes serious. Anna nodded, steeling herself before stepping out of the car. As they approached the front door, her heart pounded like a war drum, each beat fueling her determination. She knocked firmly, her heart racing as the sound echoed through the stillness. It opened, and James stood there, his eyes widening in surprise before flickering with a hint of contempt. "What do you want, Anna?" he asked, the casual indifference in his voice only fanning the flames of her rage. She didn't flinch. She inhaled deeply, forcing confidence to fill the space where doubt lingered. "We need to talk, and you need to listen." "About what?" he scoffed, folding his arms defensively. "About the mess you've made and the people you've betrayed," she declared, her voice steady. "You think you can just walk away?" "No, that is not happening." His expression shifted from mockery to surprise as she articulated how deep his deceit ran. "You think you can expose me? You're out of your depth, Anna. You were never the smart one." That was the twist of the knife, an insult sharpening every nerve ending. She felt her hands clench, but she fought the urge to react. "You'll regret underestimating me. I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore." He stepped forward, a mere few inches away, his face twisting with rage and disbelief. "I will ruin you. You'll see." "Ruin? Is that what you think?" Anna lifted her chin defiantly. "It's over, James. I have the evidence I need to take you down publicly. You're nothing more than a coward hiding behind your lies." "What are you talking about?" He spat, frustration creasing his brow. "You know what I'm talking about. The affair, the lies, everything. You think you're so smart, but your world is falling apart," she retorted, a sly smile creeping across her lips as his expression shifted from rage to uncertainty. The weight of her words sank into the air, thick and palpable. In that moment, Anna felt the shackles of betrayal begin to crumble. There was no way he could stand against the truth now. "If you think I'm letting you walk away with your life intact after this, you're sorely mistaken," he hissed, eyes aflame. "And yet," Anna said coolly, "this is where your story ends." With that, she stepped back, signaling to Mark and Sarah, who had been waiting in the shadows. The three of them stood together, resolute and united. "James," Anna continued, her voice crisp and commanding, "we're going to expose you. And there's nothing you can do to stop it." As the reality of her confrontation sank in, Anna felt that lingering weight of fear begin to dissipate, replaced with a sweet rush of liberation. She turned to leave, confident in the destruction of the once perceived normalcy in her life. She would fight for her truth. "Anna, wait." James called after her, but she didn't respond. Instead, she walked away, her heart pounding a steady rhythm of strength. The door to her past slammed shut behind her, marking the end of a chapter riddled with pain. But the real journey was just beginning, and this time, she would embrace it with everything she had. As Anna settled back into the car, she blinked at her friends, the weight of doubt slipping away. Together, she breathed, determination zipping through her. They drove away from the house, leaving behind not just a haunting memory, but the shadows that had threatened to consume her. A sense of peace washed over her, knowing she was no longer alone in this fight. In that moment, Anna realized she didn't just want revenge anymore. She craved justice. And this was going to be a fight she would win. The sun glimmered through the trees as they sped down the road, each mile marking the distance they were putting between her and the darkness. And as they departed, Anna knew one thing for certain: she was ready to stand tall and rewrite her story. Now it was time to show the world the power of a woman scorned. The journey to reclaim her life was just beginning, but this time, she was the one in control. And before the final chapter closed, she whispered a promise to herself: no more shadows. No more hiding. As the horizon brightened, so did her hope. Don't wait even one more second. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to fuel the algorithm. Now is the moment to flood the comments with your reactions and theories about this dramatic conclusion. And share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this fierce ending. You need to show your support. Only true fans understand the importance of these actions.